Copper and precious metals. Hello YouTube, and thanks to Rusty LM for your question about copper and precious metal stocks. A great question. I'm going to answer this question. I'll cover a few interesting names, but I'll do that over a series of videos. Today I want to bring your attention back to Inflection Resources, a company we already discussed on May 9th. If you missed that video, the link is right at the top of your screen right now, and also down in the description. Since the last video on Inflection Resources, there's been just one key update. But it's an important one, and it could significantly boost the company's future upside potential with a relatively little added cost. That said, keep in mind that exploration is always a risky business. So what's the news? Well, in mid-June, Inflection announced that it's acquiring two exploration projects from Newmont. Tennant East in the Northern Territories of Australia and Bell River in New South Wales. Let's look at each of them briefly. Tennant East includes 12 exploration licenses covering around 4,200 square kilometers. It's located about 180 kilometers east of Tennant Creek with good access to infrastructure. Newmont's earlier drilling work identified copper, gold, uranium, molybdenum geochemical footprints, signs that point to iron oxide copper-gold potential. Bell River, on the other hand, is a smaller project with around 115 square kilometers in its area, but in a very strategic location. It's just 65 kilometers north of Newmont's Cadia mine. By the way, that's one of the largest copper mines in the world. There are also huge mines in that same region. And it sits within the Macquarie Arc, which, by the way, is Australia's most productive copper-gold region. One prospect on the Bell River project, called Baker's Swamp, has surface samples with gold up to 40.8 grams per ton and 1% copper. Again, that's just from surface samples. Let's see what the drilling shows. So what does this all mean for Inflection Resources? It adds two more promising projects with a bunch of targets within them in the future to the company's already large portfolio of 20 to 30 exploration targets. Now, even if the odds of success at any one target are only around 1 to 2%, the overall probability of discovery starts to look significantly attractive. Plus, don't forget, AngloGold Ashanti is funding exploration on several of Inflection Resources' most promising projects. That reduces both risk and dilution for shareholders. If you want more detail on that broader context regarding Inflection Resources and their partnership with AngloGold Ashanti, I really recommend watching the earlier video from May. Again, link is down in the description. Now let's talk costs of acquiring those two new projects from Newmont. This deal didn't come with a big upfront cost. If the deal goes through, Inflection pays Newmont 1.25 million shares, and Newmont retains a royalty, 2% on Tennant East and 1.5% on Bell River. Down the road, Inflection would owe another 2.5 million Australian dollars if Tennant East reaches PFS, the pre-feasibility study, and another 5 million Australian dollars more if it goes into commercial production. But of course, if either of those milestones are reached, it means serious value had already been created. So those payments wouldn't be a problem. In terms of dilution, Inflection now has about 112.4 million shares outstanding, never mind the 6.8 million in options. Only taking into account the shares outstanding, issuing another 1.25 million shares represents only about 1.1% dilution. And since mid-June, the share price, the stock price of Inflection, is already down by around 10%, meaning this discount already offsets the dilution for new buyers. But as always, this is not an investment advice. I personally do hold a position in Inflection Resources both in my individual as well as the model portfolio at myfinancesteacher.org. I continue to like Inflection Resources, especially due to the fact that a major gold miner is covering costs of the company's top promising projects. So I'll leave you with this question. Will Inflection's share price hit, let's say, $0.50 from the current 18 cents by the end of this year? Let me know down in the comments below. Have a marvelous Monday. Bye bye.